19th April 1943, 4 a.m. Eve of Passover. The SS enter into the Jewish quarter of Warsaw. Systematic destruction of all the buildings in the ghetto. This is the order of General Strop, realizing that there was a network of bunkers, hiding places and tunnels all interconnecting, in which the Jews organized their resistance. 24th May 1943, Strop sends off to Berlin a bound dossier of 53 photographs. On the black leather cover, the title stands out. The Jewish quarter in Warsaw no longer exists. There is a tenuous, short and marginal event that, inserted in the complex phenomenon of deportation and extermination of the Jews in the great history, reflects its intense tragedy, bringing to the foreground places and people of our province of Cuneo. With the occupation of November 1942, Italy and Germany divide into two areas the department still under the nominal authority of Vichy. The Jews that had taken refuge in the Résidence Forcée of Saint-Martin-Vésubie, occupied by the Italian troops, are hopeful. Les nouvelles de l'arrivée de l'armée italienne nous apparent miraculeuses, said a witness. It is not just a benevolent tolerance, but often active protection, perhaps for deaf indifference of the Italian army towards the German raids, perhaps for a sense of humanity amongst our commanders. And so it is that at Saint-Martin-Vésubie, after November 1942, there is an almost peaceful interval, refounding faith in the near future. The Italian government, realizing the impossibility of continuing the unequalled struggle against the overbearing power of the adversary, requested an armistice from General Eisenhower. 8th September is a brusque awakening from the illusions. The news of the armistice between the Italian government and the Allied forces spreads like lightning in Saint-Martin-Vésubie and brings about a collective decision. In the night between the 8th and the 9th September, a biblical convoy of 1,200 German, French, Polish and Dutch Jews with nail-biting adventures follow the route of the Italian soldiers of the Fifth Army over the Colle delle Finestre and the Colle Cirieggia in the hope of finding safety in Italy. White-haired men and women, young children, people already reduced to poverty, refugees without food or supplies of clothes and blankets, reached the village of Valgesso at dawn on the 13th September. In perfect dramatic timing, the German trucks climbed the road that goes from Borgo San Dalmazzo to Entracque and Valdieri. However, that day the Germans did not arrive, and hearts once again opened to hope. In the two small towns of Valgesso, the same atmosphere lived in Saint-Martin-Vésubie was recreated, if only for a short time. The local authorities, the people, the clergy do their utmost to help the people that had come down the mountains from nowhere.
Quando l'arcivescovo mi disse di fare un'assistenza morale, io un po' umoristicamente gli ho detto, ma si tratta di ebrei.
When the Archbishop told me to give moral assistance, I replied sarcastically, but we're talking about Jews. They'll be hungry. They haven't got money. They'll need a lot more than moral assistance.
Noi non ci abbiamo parlato, ma abbiamo visto che c'era gente dentro quel casolare, c'era ancora gente, ma noi non siamo andati in fuori, siamo subito venuti a prendere da mangiare, perché io ci ho detto a mia sorella, andiamo a prendere un po' da mangiare, questa gente qua hanno fame, era bianca come...
We didn't talk to them, but we saw that there were people in that farmhouse, and I said to my sister, let's go and get some food. They'll be hungry and thirsty. And so we brought them bread and boiled milk.
Bollito.
The epilogue is dramatic. The manifest of 18th September, hung up in all the villages of the valley, by order of Captain Müller, rang as an ultimatum, destined to flow into the sad page of the concentration camp of Borgo San Dalmazzo and the successive deportation of 21st November to Auschwitz. Only 19 survived. But in those days, before the first roundups by the Germans, there came about a disarming and special coexistence of two worlds, that of the hunted, cultured and refined Jewish society of the Middle Europe, and that of the peasants of the Cunese mountains, harassed and beaten by specular poverty. In Valdieri and Entracque in Valgesso, the meeting of two worlds of the beaten seems to mark an ideal convergence, hope of a new human fraternization. If the reasons for the behaviour of the Italians are complex, and their sense of humanity was probably not their only motivation, they demonstrated that one can always resist, even against the pressures of a powerful government like the Nazis and the Vichy government. This was also shown by the resistance of thousands of anonymous people who helped the hounded Jews. I left Belgium in the attempt to reach Switzerland, arrested by the German guards and sent to a French camp. I managed, despite everything, to reach Saint-Martin and follow the Italian troops. I was 3 months old. This story has been with me my whole life, as has the kindness of the Italians on both sides of the Alps. Thanks to that kindness, 65 years later, I was there to take part in the Remembrance Walk. A day will come in which we too will be old. We will follow roads filled with memories, and certainly we will trip up on stories which we would not have wanted to live through, and which we should never have lived through. Despite all this, a smile will lighten up our face for an instant. The thought these stories must not be forgotten and be a warning forever. Think about what has been. Remember these words. Etch them into your heart at home, on the road, lying down, getting up. Repeat them to your children.
No more tears, my heart is dry. I don't laugh and I don't cry. I don't think about you all the time, but when I do, wonder why. You had to go out of my door and leave just like you did before. I know I said that I was sure, but rich men can't imagine Paul. One day, baby, we'll be old. Oh, baby, we'll be old and think of all the stories that we could have told. So one day, baby, we'll be old. Oh, baby, we'll be old and think of all the stories that we could have told.